Article 36(9) of the Constitution, which forms part of the directive principles of state policy and which is supposed to guide all citizens, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary in the application and interpretation of the Constitution and any other law, as well as in taking and implementing policy decisions, states as follows, and I quote, "The state shall take appropriate measures needed to protect and safeguard the national environment for posterity, and shall seek cooperation with other states and bodies for purposes of protecting the wider international environment for mankind." Again, Article 41K of the Constitution, under the same Chapter 6, provides, and I quote, "The exercise and enjoyment of rights and freedoms is inseparable from the performance of duties and obligations, and accordingly, it shall be the duty of every citizen to protect and safeguard the environment," end quote. Mr. Speaker, the combined effect of these two articles of the Constitution is that citizens who seek protection of the law have a duty to protect and safeguard the environment, and the state, as the custodian of the environment, has a duty to take measures necessary to ensure that the environment is protected for posterity. One of such measures the state has adopted after several unsuccessful attempts is to decommission equipment used in illegal mining so that the perpetrators of these heinous crimes do not go back to continue the illegality with the same equipment. Mr. Speaker, whilst a lot of attention is focused on those who mine without license, there are a lot of illegalities that are perpetrated even by persons holding valid mineral rights. These include mining in unauthorized areas, including the red zones, contrary to Section 89 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, drawing and using water without the requisite permit from the Water Resources Commission, contrary to Section 17 of Act 703, mining without regard to good mining practices and environmental protection, contrary to Section 93 of Act 703, and using mercury, contrary to Regulation 473 of the Minerals and Mining, Health, Safety, and Technical Regulations 2012, LI 21A2. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was spot on when, on Wednesday, 26 May 2021, he said in his address at the sword casting ceremony for the construction of the Law Village of the Ghana School of Law, that, and I quote, "Indeed, a person in possession of a valid license but undertakes mining in water bodies or mines unlawfully in protected forest zones also commits an illegality," end quote. I am advised by the Honorable Attorney General that the action being taken by government in this regard is within the remit of our laws. Again, like the President of the Republic said, quote, "No rights can accrue to or flow from the criminal venture of Galamsey." Mr. Speaker, the principle of law established by Lord Marshall, CJ, as far back as 1775 in Holman and Johnson, 1775, 1 Corpus Report 341 at 343, is that, and I quote, "Es tepi causa non oritio actio," end quote, which literally means, quote, "From a dishonorable cause, an action does not arise," end quote. This principle of law has been applied in a long line of cases in our country, including the case of Takoradi Flour Mills Limited versus Samia Fari, 2005-2006, Supreme Court of Ghana Law Report 882, where our Apex Court, the Supreme Court, speaking through the renowned Answer JSC, held as follows, and I quote, "The law was settled that no one could found an action on an illegal act, where the express words of a statute expressly proscribed or forbade a transaction which a plaintiff sought to enforce. No court will lend its assistance or give effect to it," end quote. Mr. Speaker, in addition to these acts being illegal and criminal, they are contrary to the duty of citizens as enshrined in Article 41K above stated. This constitutional provision makes it abundantly clear that the enjoyment of rights is inseparable from the performance of the duty to protect the environment. Indeed, the Supreme Court, again, on several occasions, beginning with the cases of Attorney General versus Faro Atlantic Company Limited, 2005 to 2006, Supreme Court of Ghana Law Report 271, through Attorney General versus Balkan Energy Limited, 2012 to Supreme Court of Ghana Law Report 998, to the Wyoming, Waterville, and Isopoton line of cases, held that no right can accrue from an unconstitutional act. In the recent case of Eston Cubic Limited versus Attorney General and others, delivered on 14 June 2018, the High Court in Kumasi was emphatic that a person who used equipment illegally for mining was not entitled to any monetary compensation from the court. Mr. Speaker, I am not oblivious of the provisions of the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2020, Act 995, which requires seizure of the equipment used for illegal mining, the successful prosecution of the people involved, before confiscation of the equipment and eventual disposal by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. It is my submission, however, that this law contemplates equipment that are easily retrievable and which can conveniently be carried from the equipment being decommissioned, however, are mostly found very deep in the forest, where they cannot be brought out without causing further damage to the forest, or found on water bodies, which makes them near impossible to bring them out without destroying the water course. In addition to this, the illegal miners mostly remove the control boards from these machines, making them impossible to remove. Mr. Speaker, under such conditions, in accordance with Articles 34(1) and 36(9) of the Constitution, the law must be interpreted to protect and safeguard the national environment for posterity. Where it is impossible to remove such equipment without causing further damage, appropriate measures needed to protect the environment must be taken, and they are being taken. Additionally, as I have sought to establish above, Mr. Speaker, in any event, Act 995 ought to be purposefully construed alongside the dictates of the Constitution and settled case law, which will make the action of government legally justified. Furthermore, Act 995 seeks to prevent the use of equipment to mine illegally, and this is the same objective government is intended to achieve. Mr. Speaker, I believe a reasonable police officer who comes face to face with a bomb which is likely to go off will demobilize it rather than retrieve it. Mr. Speaker, the decommissioning and demobilization of equipment used for illegal mining are necessary measures we have taken to protect and safeguard our national environment for posterity, in accordance with the sacred duty bestowed on government by the framers of our national constitution under Article 36(9). I will respectfully but forcefully contend that there is ample legal justification for the decommissioning of excavators illegally used to destroy our environment.
So that was the Minister on the legal framework.